The Flash, issue 83, Joshua Williamson, writing with Rafa Sandoval on art.
So, this is definitely a mirror world, right? They're definitely not in actual Central City.
Yeah. Either that or it's literally just Central City's in a mirror, like, dome or something, yeah.
Yeah, that was the point where they went, oh yeah, time and reality are just broken. I went, all right, fine. Whatever.
So, if this wasn't so close to what I feel is the end, I would probably quit this book because it's not being fun to read.
I think, do you know what is the key difference between this and I'm going to compare it to King's Batman is, you know, there was a point maybe 10 issues or so ago where I went, I kind of want to quit, but I know I'm close to the end because it'd always been 100 and then it was like, okay, 85 actually on this title. Right. So I thought I'll stick it out. With this, we don't actually know. There's no hard, like, oh, it's 100 issues like we've known with Batman for a long time. So you say, oh, it feels like we're close to the end, but God knows if it actually is. This could go 150 for all we know.
I don't think it will. I think it will probably be about 100. I think when we get to like middle of next year, we're going to start to hear about, you know, when it's wrapping up.
You mean something on that 5G sort of line for 2021?
I feel I feel like Williamson's run will probably end just before that happens. That'd be my guess at this point.
I'm gonna give it one more issue because I didn't like anything in this issue.
Oh, you're actually considering dropping it
now? Yeah. It's not fun to read, and I like Williamson a lot. Flash is one of my favorite heroes. I want to be excited for that book. You know, I'll still hate read Batman, but I refuse to hate read Superman or Flash. You know,
it's been a long time since Matt's, you know, been like, oh, I don't want to read Flash to that extent because Matt loves Flash. And,
it was called Vendetti. That was the last time.
Well, it was. But, you know, but just here, Cold's still not. I don't like his characterization. There's a little bit of a shine through of him in the beginning where he talked about he never wanted to be a king, but now it suits him. And it's like,
but now it's great.
Yeah, and almost like, dude, this is a villain. Why I like Colt so much? He's a villain with values, you know, and that's kind of rare. And now he's just like every other villain, and you know, and then the stuff with Golden Glider, I still don't know what her powers are. She used to just be able to move fast, right? A little bit.
Glide, you might say. She could glide.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but now she's definitely phasing through walls.
And stuff, which...
And
got Ragman-esque powers.
I don't know.
And, like, I'm just tired of the Speed Force being a plot device. Because this is now, what? Since the end of Flash War. So, what was that, issue 50?
Give or take.
Yeah. So now we're what, 23 issues on
33.
That's being used as a
33.
33. Jeez. I'm terrible at math. But yeah, I'm tired of that. The whole thing with Flash not being able to remove the collar.
Yeah, he's got a meta dampener collar on his neck, and Glider breaks him out of the ice heights. It's called the ice heights now. And they get into the city. There's like big ice
wolves.
Before we get there, there's the guard robot
ice
things.
Max.
Oh yeah.
So which I like because you see how he creates them by using the Mirror Master's tech. You know, he's
the wolves.
It feels like just though that we want some ice wolves. Let's do ice wolves.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's fine. I get that. I understand all that concept there, and it gives, you know, him saying that his sister was always afraid of dogs, shouldn't have sent wolves after him. I was like, okay, that's proper villain, you know, and whatnot.
It kind of Williamson. I'm realizing, having read so much of his Flash now, he kind of suffers from one of the things that I think Snyder suffers from, and he just throws out all these big ideas without really building to them. And I don't think he reads like Snyder. I think there's definitely a difference in the writing. I think Williamson isn't as wordy and doesn't kind of bog down the details as much, but. The core problem I have, where I don't feel like it would build up to some of these big ideas, which honestly, the city being like an ice glass mirror world, and like it being kind of like almost Flash's version of like No Man's Land, but like with you know this
that
kind
could
of
have been okay if it didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, I could have been into that, you know.
And oddly, I feel like Snyder would have suited this concept better in that he's very methodical in explaining these things.
Yep.
So I feel like I'd have actually enjoyed that more in this concept with Snyder's style of explaining it and going through it. Whereas this just kind of, I don't really understand what's going on still. How much time's passed? What the hell are the rules here?
I'll give it this. I kind of like the sort of the winter variants on the costumes that Avery and Kid Flash have.
That's cool.
As a style.
Yeah, but so their suits aren't tied to the Speed Force?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
No.
So
well, to be
probably
fair,
a good job. So otherwise, they wouldn't be wearing them, would they?
Well, to be
Right,
fair,
that's what I'm saying.
only Wally's ever was.
Oh, that's right.
Well, Wally's the only one who can make a suit out of a Speed Force. Everyone else has actual suits that were,
That's right.
made.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
So that's not a plot hole in this sense.
It's convenient
No,
that
it's
Wally's not here, is what
Yeah.
Matt's saying.
Wally's running through the street naked.
That's really why he went to Sanctuary, because he just broke. It has nothing to do with missing his family. He likes the crisp air. Yeah, man, this just makes me sad.
Yeah, so basically what happens is these big ice wolves, or glass ice wolves that Captain Cold has created out of Mirror Master's tech, mixed with Luthor's tech, is that he sends them after Flash, and the only option they have is to maybe remove the collar that might have a detonation, which it does. It explodes, and Barry has this weird thing where he seems to be phasing in and out of different time periods and possibly even worlds. We see him in like Commandy's time, we see him in like space, we see him in like sort of the future somewhere.
It looks like the future from the evil Tim that we got in Detective.
Yeah, it looks like that sort of future. And then Wallace puts the collar back up and says, "No, you have to keep the collar on because the Speed Force is not safe to use. Like it's unstable or something.
Just it's too dangerous."
Yeah. So we end that. That's where we end the issue with a big crater. I mean, I'll give it this. It's easy enough to read. It's not like a chore to get through in the way that it's not difficult to follow or anything like that. It's just unsatisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just feels like it's going from one sequence of events to another with no narrative flow or reason or care.
So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll keep reading it. I'm too far in now at this point to, see if it was like a really wordy book that took me 20 minutes to read every time, I'd probably be a lot more harsh and the thought of dropping it. But as it is, I'm happy enough to just squeeze it in because it's easy enough to read. But hey, Flash is in a really mediocre place right now, and I think, Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this a 6. No. I'm giving this a 4.5. I'm angry.
Connor?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I think on top of all the story problems that we've talked about, Sandoval's art still doesn't suit Barry. Even when he's not using his speed powers, like that first page of Barry chained up, just looks kind of rough. I just really hate how he draws Barry.
I'll give it a 5.